Hello everyone, today we're going to talk about releases that have not had a proper Blu-ray. You might only be able to find them on DVD, um, or you might be able to find them as bootlegs or grey market releases somewhere else in the world. Um, Now there's a couple of different types of bootleg and grey market, and it's a really interesting idea that you can have something that's not quite a bootleg and not quite an official release. And I'm not particularly convinced that I buy it, but it's something that a lot of people think is a real thing out there. If you're unaware, the legalities of bootlegs in Spain apparently is very odd, very strange, in that you can kind of set up your own company and you can release movies, anything you want, and you can have them pressed, printed officially, so they look official at least, and sell these for profit without the studios being involved whatsoever. And apparently that is okay to do in Spain, which is really weird because obviously Spain is in the EU. You would think that it came under all EU laws in the same way that other countries do, but for some reason they do it and it is just a thing that is out there. And I can't really understand it, but on occasion I have taken advantage of that fact, and I'll explain why. So I've got 4 DVDs with me that I've had for a long time that I really like. They're films that I like, and that I watch not all the time, but on a somewhat regular basis. And considering I have hundreds of films at my disposal, it's kind of weird that I watch these often, but I do. The first one is a film called The Beach, starring Leonardo DiCaprio. I think it's a great film. It's not perfect by any stretch, but I think it's really good. Another one I don't think is perfect, but is quite good fun, is True Lies. You probably see where this is going if you've seen any of these before. Another one that I really do like, because David Fincher is one of my favourite directors, is Panic Room. I got this fabulous box set. It's got 3 discs and a ton of special features. A lot of time and effort went into this box set. It's kind of incredible. And the last one I wanted to show you was The Abyss, a great film by James Cameron. A really good film, actually. I first saw it when I was really young. I don't even know what year this came out, but it must have been in the 80s. Early 80s, probably. Late 80s, rather. 1989, it says here. So, yeah, great films, only available for me to watch, at least in this country, in the UK, and most of the world, on DVD. And DVD kind of sucks, it's not great, is it? No matter how good the upscales are, it's just, I don't know, a bit ropey. So in come this company in Spain. I don't even know how big the operation is. I've no idea. I think they're called Resin, and they have made grey market Blu-rays. This is Panic Room, True Lies, and The Beach. Nothing for The Abyss just yet, although I imagine it's going to come sooner or later. And what are these releases like? Obviously, they're not made by a studio. They're bootlegs, but they're legal bootlegs. People on Blu-ray.com forums describe it as grey market, and some people are very adamant that this is not illegal. They are grey market releases, and that's it. Some people argue that these are simply just high quality bootlegs. That's kind of how I fall, to be honest, but regardless, they're out there. You can find them. They're not that expensive. If you get them as soon as they're released from a couple of stores out there, I don't know if Resin themselves are affiliated, but there's a store called DVD Store .es or DVD Store Spain.es. Easy to find, and they will sell these to you and ship it out to you, no problem. They usually cost about £12 to £13 plus a bit of shipping from Spain. Sometimes you can find these on Amazon. Amazon sell these sometimes, which is bizarre. But the reason I have these 3 is because I like these 3 films in particular. They're only on DVD, which I own. I could download it illegally, but I don't want to do that. I want something for my shelf, and I don't want to have to go and make my own either. So what do they look like? Well, they've got nice sleeves, as you can see. They're well printed. They're all in Spanish, of course, but the discs themselves are what I find quite interesting. these have all been pressed at a plant. They're proper pressed DVD, Blu-rays rather. They always have these funky old 1080p signs on them. I don't know why. I guess they just got a template that they use. They're region free, of course, and they all come pretty well authored. They have decent enough menus with the odd special feature sometimes, audio selection, subtitle selection. One thing that really annoys me about them is that if you go in there and you set the audio to English, it will automatically set the subtitles to English. I don't know why that happens. You don't have to press anything on the subtitles, it just does it. So you have to go into the options and turn off the subtitles. So the best thing to do is start the movie, pause it, change it to English, and then just watch it as normal if you have these. The one that most people might have seen or might have had would be the True Lies one, and this got a lot of good reviews from people that have been crying out for these. It's the menu on this is actually really quite nice. Same issue with the audio and subtitles. I don't know why, but it's on the same on all three. And the one that I was most excited to get was Panic Room. Panic Room is a really great film. I love it. I love Jodie Foster. I love David Fincher. It's a great film that should have been on DVD, on Blu-ray right now. It is on DVD. It should be on Blu-ray. Probably should be in 4K. Let's be honest. It's a great film. But it's not had any love, and maybe one day it'll get that 4K release, and then I can throw this in the bin. But right now, this is the only way for me to watch it in 1080p Blu-ray quality. I don't want to watch my DVDs anymore. I just don't want to watch them. Now, obviously, you might say, well, in order for a disc to be authored, they need a source. Where do you get the source from? They're clearly not like going to the studios, scanning a print, tidying it up, removing all the noise and dirt and denoising it and all that kind of stuff. They're not doing that, none of that stuff. What they're doing is they're going online. So just like you could, they're finding the highest quality rip from usually like HD TV, or I think someone said it's like a DVHSD theatre release or something. I'm not 100% on the technical aspects of that, but they're just downloading the movie. Like you could make your own version of all of these, I'm sure. What they will do is they'll re-encode it so that it's Blu-ray compliant, with good results, to be fair. I mean, authoring software and encoding software is great now, so it doesn't really matter. The Beach one's interesting. I had a look online. The best version of the Beach I could find was quite a small file. This one's like a 20 gig file though, so they authored it with the view to using a standard BD25 disc, a 25 disc single layer, and trying to get as much quality as they could save as much quality out of that relatively small file. And to be fair, it looks just fine. All of these look just fine. They're not perfect. They never will be, because they're not a proper release that's been scanned from a 35mm print or whatever. They're just downloads. They try and keep as much quality as possible, but they have to re-author it so it's Blu-ray compliant. A lot of times you can find files that you can't burn onto disc to play because they aren't the exact aspect ratio, or they're not encoded in the exact right way. It's a very simplistic way of putting it, but they have to re-encode it, and then they can burn it onto a disc. The menus is going an extra step to give it an air of authenticity, which it does, to be fair. And the Panic Room one is even more interesting, because if I open it up, it's got two discs. It's got an extra DVD, but it's not a DVD of the film, it's extras. And it's extras, funnily enough, that they have very specifically pilfered from this box set, which I own. You can see it's got loads of extras on there, and they've basically taken the best ones and just put it onto a DVD, and they've offered a menu for that too. It's all in Spanish. They've put Spanish subtitles are hard coded into these extras. I don't know why. They could have had it so you could choose that, but they're not. They're hard coded in, so you can't get away from it. But yeah, these are the three that I own, and am I happy to own them? Yeah, pretty happy. They look pretty good. It's something for my shelf. They're not official though, are they? Anyone who tries to argue that Grey Market is not a bootleg, I think they're on a little bit of a hiding to nothing, to be honest. I'm sure there's a good argument for and against, and if you've got a good argument for, you can chat to me in the comments. I know there's a few of you out there now. I've got some subscribers now. That's great. Thanks. So let's have a talk about it, because I'm really keen to know, like, this is meant to be legal in Spain to have these, to sell these. They're shipping them abroad. Is it legal for me in this country to have and own these? I don't know. I actually don't know. Maybe they can be taken away. No idea. But it's easy enough, you just, a film that I want to watch, I can see on the shelf, I'll pop it in. That's it. End of story, I guess. But yeah, the reason why you might want to buy these is clearly they're not available anywhere else. And to demonstrate, so we'll do the usual trick of looking on Blu-ray.com to see what releases are available. And you'll see that it's got an American release, a UK release, and Spanish release. This is the one I just showed you. This was released in 2022. About the UK and the American ones though, no release date, because it wasn't released. No release date. So, yeah, you can't get them anywhere. The studios aren't interested. So what are you going to do? I guess you could go to this Spanish website, or maybe even Amazon.es for Spain, and just buy these instead, something for your shelf. Or you can make your own, and that's totally fine as well. You could just make your own, put it on your shelf, print out a cover, even print on a disc, and that would be fine too. But I kind of like the idea that it's a more official looking release. I don't know if that's makes it morally acceptable or not. I don't know if this is morally an issue or not. But what I will tell you is that you can't find these anywhere else. You won't be able to find a better version of them anywhere else. This is it. This is all you've got. You want it? Buy these. And if they do release a 4K, a long-rumoured 4K of Panic Room, if that comes out, I will throw this in the bin and I'll buy it. I will, like, immediately. I don't care about owning this disc in particular. It's not that good. It's just a convenient way for me to see something on my shelf, to enjoy some artwork and to put it in. Does it matter that it's got Spanish writing all over it? No, I don't care about that. Loads of my Blu-rays are from different countries. It's fine. I know what it is. And like I said, yeah, you can buy it from legal channels and have them ship it right here. So yeah, is it morally acceptable? Are we taking money out of people's hands? What are we funding by buying these? A lot of good questions. Like, is this company resin a stand-up company? Can't imagine that's true. Maybe it's a family business. I don't know. Maybe they put loads of profits back into the community. I just don't know. They're essentially going online, downloading a film, re-encoding it, creating a pretty nice product, and then selling it. They're making money off other people's hard work, of course. Nobody who was involved in the creative process for this, nobody who funded the making of these films is obviously going to see any money from this. Is that their fault for not releasing it? No, I guess not, but kinda. Like, it's a very, you can see why maybe people call it a grey market, because there's a lot of grey areas involved. But in my opinion, they are just high quality bootlegs. That's what I think. You can argue against me, it's fine, but it's something I could maybe knock out, myself. I could have made that, and I could have sold it. Would you buy it from me? No. What's interesting is obviously that they're printed discs. They've obviously created, or they've got a deal with some sort of pressing plant to make these discs. That's insane to me. I don't know how that happens. Again, lax Spanish laws, I suppose. Weird. But yeah, if you like these films and you want to buy them, I don't have a problem with that. I buy it myself. But some people will, and there are other types of bootlegs out there that this company, I believe this company in particular, but other companies at least, I don't want to tar them with the same brush, but in Spain you can buy a lot of bootlegs for stuff that was already released on Blu-ray. That's a different area. I mean, that's definitely a bootleg. Like, that's not a grey market, really. No matter how legal it might be in Spain, no matter how legal it might be for me to import it, if I can buy the original Blu-ray, but instead I choose to go somewhere else 'cause it's a bit cheaper. Again, another grey area. Some people will say, well, I'm not going to pay eBay prices for a limited print that costs $150, $200, when I could just spend $15 and get a rip-off. I mean, it doesn't sit well with me, but I'm not going to chastise people for that. It's your decision to make at the end of the day. I don't really care so much. Do I think it's, moral to do that? Not necessarily. There was a Spanish bootleg. It's definitely a bootleg. It wasn't an official release of the film Dogma, which I've spoke about before. And now I have an American copy, an official copy that cost a lot of money. I can understand why no one would want to pay those kind of prices. Like, you're not going to pay, if you want to pay $100, $150 sometimes for Dogma, I mean, that's crazy. I sometimes get these ideas in my head and then I just have to have it, which is weird. But yeah, there was a German release of Dogma that was official too, and both of those are super, super rare. And then there was a Spanish release, which a few people would have bought, and some people try and sell that now for $100 because they stopped printing it. And that's kind of wild because this is obviously something that's in demand. Much like The Abyss, if it happens, I'm sure it will happen. If they release a copy of this, which is good, in a nice case, on a nice pressed disc, high quality, I'll buy that too. I'm not going to buy a Dogma because I could save up and buy that copy. You could. Anyone could. I did. And there's a few instances like that too. So there's a German release of a film that I like called A Life Less Ordinary. That's only been released in Germany, much like another film that I like, a British film called Human Traffic. Only released in Germany. But with A Life Less Ordinary, in Spain, you can get a very nice looking rip-off of that disc. It's all pressed. It's got a nice cover. The cover's actually nicer than the German one, which sucks. And it's cheap-ish, 15, maybe 20 quid. So if you really like that film, but what I noticed when I compared the two videos is it's the exact same film. Like, they've re-encoded it so it fits onto a single layer disc, I guess. I don't even know why. Probably that reason. But it's the exact same. I know it's every scratch and bit of dirt is in the exact same spot constantly. They've clearly taken an official disc or a rip of that disc that they found online and done their re-encoding so it fits onto a disc. But it looks virtually identical, like in quality wise. It is identical, but it's been re-encoded. I got it out of sheer curiosity. I wanted to see if it was the same disc exactly, and it basically is. That's their source. And I don't like that. I got rid of that one. Chucked that. Not interested. I've got my official copy. If that's all we get, it's not a very good copy, but I'm fine. They made it available. It's out there. That's the difference for me. But yeah, some people like these obscure things. Maybe there's TV shows that you like. Some people in America will take Netflix shows and they will make bootlegs of Netflix shows which have not got a Blu-ray release, and they'll package it up nicely and they'll post it out too. You can find all this kind of stuff online quite easily. Maybe they'll get shut down, maybe they won't, I don't know. If I have a movie or a TV show that I like that's not available anywhere, maybe I'll make my own copy of it if I wanted to. Again, I try and stay away from all that though. I don't really like the idea of downloading stuff and burning your own copies. It doesn't really appeal, and that's a bit of a shame because I'd like to see all my favourite shows available. I really like The Silence of the Lambs. I think it's a great film. There was a TV show called Clarice, which CBS made in America, and they did release it, but they only released it on DVD. Like, I think it was last year or the year before. That's crazy. Like, DVD is all there. I mean, if it was a Blu-ray available, I'd buy it. But I'm not gonna try and download it, author my own, make my own version. That's not for me. But I think that's a better option. Keep it to yourself. Don't obviously try and profit off it. But yeah, some little startups in America, little bedroom operations, do make these and sell it to people. And then I've seen videos of that online, and people are very happy about it. I think it's kind of neat, and it's kind of crazy, and it's just bootlegging. And I guess bootlegging discs and VHS has been around forever, but I'd much rather just buy a proper copy, make this on Blu-ray, and I'll buy it. That's it. Okay, so those are my thoughts and ideas, and hopefully a decent enough explanation if you're new to this concept. Sorry if I've just rambled. I have rambled. I'll try and cut it up a little bit. Anyway, I'm going to be going to the US, specifically New York and LA, on Friday. And my plan while I'm there is maybe I'll take a little tripod for the camera and look around as many Goodwills, thrift stores, maybe even a flea market, and a Barnes and Noble or two, and see if I can find any really good deals on US discs. Hopefully ones that are region free. If not, then whatever. But maybe I'll find a bargain, and that could be really interesting. I do know that in America, DVDs are still more popular, like for consumers to buy. So maybe the thrift stores won't have many Blu-rays in, but maybe they'll have some, and maybe I'll find something amazing. That would be a good bit of fun, I suppose. If you don't hear from me in the next 2 or 3 weeks, it's because I'm on holiday and I've not found anything worth talking about. When I come back, though, I will be talking about Arrow video releases, specifically things that really annoy me about a really great company that I really, really like. So it's not like a total teardown, but I do have annoyances, which I think might be interesting to talk about, especially if you're a collector like I am. But yeah, in the meantime, hopefully if I find something good in America, then I'll record a video and I'll upload it. Again, thank you if you're subscribed, that's great. And thanks if you've got through this far, which is kind of crazy to me that you've listened to me ramble for this long. But I really appreciate it. And yeah, have a chat below if you want, that'd be great. I know I say that every time I'd make a video, but I don't get much in the way of comments. But I do, so genuinely like a little bit of joy if there's a comment pops up. You go, oh my god, and I will talk to you. And that could be good fun. Anyway, that's it for this week. Maybe it for a few weeks. Hopefully not. If I do a video in America, then obviously if you're subscribed, you'll see it. And if you're not subscribed, then maybe I'll see you in the future sometime. Take care and bye.